These eerie pictures of Red Cross vans driving through darkened streets towards the Rafah crossing with Egypt signaled the long-awaited exchange had begun. Glimpses of the hostages caught in the flash of headlights as they exited Gaza, and earlier on video, filmed by Hamas as they were handed over. That was how relatives of Karen Munder learned she and her 9-year-old son Ohad were part of the release.
We feel like we're one big family with all the other families of the hostages. We're waiting for all of them to come back.
As the deadline approached, many in Tel Aviv gathered at what's now called Hostages Square. Hope and anxiety live here as one. Ortel Shimon Raz is a psychologist running a team offering help for Israelis struggling with the trauma of this time.
And I think many people also do not know how we're going to get out of this. We don't know if it's going to get worse or if we're going to build from it.
More nighttime scenes, these in the occupied territories. Crowds waiting to welcome 39 Palestinians released from Israeli jails, women and teenagers, the other side of the exchange. Israel's hardline national security minister ordered his forces to crack down on any celebrations. For many Palestinians, the detainees are political prisoners and resistance fighters against the Israeli occupation. And in the concrete maze of the Kalandia refugee camp, Ibrahim Awad is preparing the welcoming party for his daughter Nurhan, not yet released, but deemed eligible by Israel. We're not going to celebrate because of the circumstances, he says, because of the war, but there should be some rejoicing, some happiness at the return of this child. Nurhan was 16 when she was arrested after her connection to a stabbing attack in Jerusalem 8 years ago. Awad credits all Palestinian factions for the exchanges taking place, but says they'll strengthen Hamas the most. We have the right, just like Israel, to free our people, he says. In Gaza, the sound of drones overhead was replaced by the rumble of big trucks, 137 of them carrying humanitarian aid. People took advantage of the pause in fighting to venture out into a world no longer recognizable, some trying to head back to homes in the north, despite warnings from Israel not to. If my home is destroyed, I'll pitch a tent over it, says Mohammed Abdul Bari, now living in a tent in the south. On my land, he says.
And Margaret, the next exchange is expected soon, but those names aren't public yet.
That's right, Ian. And in just a few hours' time here, they're going to try to repeat that process all over again. Hamas has reportedly already given the list of hostages to be released to Israeli security forces, and the families of the hostages have been informed. But like today, it's very unlikely that they'll be made public before those hostages get back onto Israeli soil. In Gaza, Palestinians are desperate to see this pause in the fighting continue. That is a possibility if, after we get through this 4-day peace truce process, Hamas continues to release groups of hostages in exchange for Palestinians being held in Israeli jails.
Margaret Evans reporting from Jerusalem for us tonight.